Time now for Focus Today. While the international forces fighting the Islamic State group in the Middle East feel that the tide is turning in their favour, there are fears in South Asia that the militants' influence is growing there. It is a particular worry in Bangladesh. This is the world's fourth most populous Muslim country. And you'll recall that there's been a string of violent Islamist-linked murders there in the last 2 years. People judged to be atheists, members of the LGBTQ community, activists and others are living under the shadow of this new breed of militants. Our correspondents have been to Dhaka to find out what kind of protection is on offer and why some Bangladeshis say that their government is yet to come up with any good ideas on how to stop the violence.
From the moment he steps out of his door, Maulana Fariduddin Masood is accompanied by armed policemen. The moderate Islamic scholar and preacher has become a prime target for religious fundamentalists in Bangladesh, especially those who claim to be affiliated with the Islamic State organization.
If you look at the latest Islamic State video about Bangladesh, then after our Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina and our former Prime Minister Khaleda Zia, they have declared that I am the number 3 target.
Masood has already been the target of one suicide bombing in July this year, as he was about to deliver his annual Eid address. 3 people, including 2 policemen, were killed in the attack. Masood believes he was targeted for preaching against the Islamic State organization and religious extremism.
The Islamic State group's thinking is very different, and they are extremely radical. Anyone who criticizes them is considered to be an infidel and against Islam, and they say it is their responsibility to kill these infidels. So the attack on me and other Muslims is not so surprising because they do not consider us to be true Muslims.
The attack on Masood happened just a week after the July 1st massacre inside this Dhaka bakery. By the time Bangladeshi commandos regained control of the establishment, 20 people, mostly foreigners, had been massacred. The country's most high-profile terror attack to date was carried out by 5 young Bangladeshis claiming allegiance to the Islamic State organization. Shishir Bairagi was working in the kitchen when the attack started.
This is so sad. We used to work here. We were so happy. To see it all end like that, it's very painful.
Like many others here, Shishir says he was surprised by the identity of the attackers.
They looked just like normal guests when they entered, and we could not believe that these young men were terrorists. They sounded like they were from educated, well-to-do families. And to see them committing such horrors is deeply disturbing.
Many of the attackers had studied at upscale Dhaka institutions such as the North-South University. To some analysts, the young men represent a new breed of militants, educated, wealthy and recruited over the internet by the Islamic State organization's slick propaganda.
Everybody today in the middle class family very much alarmed. They are very much worried what their children are doing. It hit the very core of the society, the middle class society. Therefore, they became more alarmed. And that's how the whole government and the missionary became proactive.
This under-construction building is a symbol of the Bangladeshi government's belatedly urgent approach to tackling terrorism. It'll house a new police unit dedicated to counter-terrorism.
After the Holy Artisan attack, as we were working, and after the situation, we're getting this new building and new office and huge equipments and facilities from the government. So it will boost up our activities and it will be a turning point for the counter-terrorism related works.
However, in spite of ISIS claiming responsibility for a number of high-profile attacks over the past 2 years, the government officially denies their presence here, choosing instead to blame local terror outfits with links to opposition parties.
We are sure and we are confirmed that in Bangladesh there is no IS. Actually, it's a new JMB. And new JMB is an organization, is a part of the JMB, that is Jamaatul Mujahideen Bangladesh, and it's a notorious terrorist organization of Bangladesh.
The government may deny the presence of the Islamic State organization, but it's difficult to deny the country's growing radicalization. A 2014 Pew Global survey found that 47% of Bangladeshis support suicide bombings to defend Islam, the highest of any large Muslim country. Many here blame it on the increasingly radical teachings in the country's mosques and madrasas. Maulana Farid believes countering such ideology is crucial. He has assembled a coalition of 100,000 preachers to counter the Islamic State organization's rhetoric.
You do not need many people to create terror. If you are not careful, a small spark is enough to start a big fire. And this fire can burn everything down with it. That's why we're taking this so seriously.
Another source of hope here is that the Islamic State organization's humiliating recent defeats in Iraq might further diminish the group's appeal to young Bangladeshis.